Sir Jeremy, you are a true friend of the crown. Dilly dilly.
Dilly dilly.
Madam Susan, you are an even truer friend of the crown. Dilly dilly.
Dilly dilly.
What is that?
This is a spiced honey mead wine that I have really been into lately. So, dilly dilly, right?
Please follow Sir Brad. He's going to give you a private tour of the Pit of Misery.
I'm sorry, what? Pit of Misery, dilly dilly. Dilly dilly.
Dilly dilly.
I'm Bear Grylls, completely lost in a desert, and without water for 3 days. I have a decision to make. Drink my urine or this cold Bud Light I miraculously stumbled across. For me, the choice was simple. As horrible as it was still better than that god-awful beer.
To the Pit of Misery!
And so they go out and they need to feed their child and they don't have money. So you maybe have to, they're put in a position where they feel like they either need to shoplift some bread or go hungry that night.
Huh? Please follow Brad to the Pit of Misery.
Can we just also say we don't actually...
To the Pit of Misery for you!
Pizza. I didn't hear the delivery guy pull up.
That's because it's not delivery.
Really?
And it's not exactly pizza either. It's almost pizza.
Come on, that's pizza.
No, it's very nearly pizza, but not quite. It's almost pizza. See? Come on, let's eat.
So it's tofu pizza or something like that.
No, you could put tofu on a pizza and still legally call it pizza. But don't call this pizza. It's almost pizza. Pizza that's practically pizza in every way, except for a few key ones. Come on, dig in.
But it's food though, right?
Come on.
Pizza. Nice one, Mom.
Hang on here. What exactly is this, Carol?
It looks like pizza.
It's meant to.
But it's not. If it was pizza, it would just say pizza.
Look, I'll eat some.
Sure smells like pizza.
That was their intention.
Whose?
Just try it, Tom. It's getting cold.
No. If anything, it's getting hotter. Okay, what is this, Carol?
Just eat some.
Hell no!
I'll eat it.
No!
I never said it was pizza.
If it's almost dinner, it's almost time for almost pizza. The thing that's much like pizza, roughly speaking. From Pfizer.
Dilly dilly. So, what'd I miss?
You're not gonna believe this shit. That is the dumbest thing that I
Oh, shut up, Doug.
Yeah, shut up, Doug. Dilly dilly.
Dilly dilly! Dilly dilly! What's up, everybody? Oh my God! Right? I don't even know what to say. I don't know what to say because they have to go out and steal bread and stuff. You know, I think there's a point at which where if anybody that has any ideology, well, that's fine, right? But when your ideology blinds you to the point of blind stupidity, dilly dilly! I figured that would just be fun to fool around with. Having some fun tonight. What's up, everybody? I see you guys. Johny Bravo says these are who elected to our current administration. Yeah. Joe says showing the dumb people off. Everybody says, hey, Joe, EV vehicles problems, no way. Let me know. Give me your top 5 first problem is power outage and flooding. You know, that's some good stuff right there. Robert Malice is here. He says, what's up, Uncle Archie? Joe says, cost, freedom, I'm curious. TJ says, good evening. Bravo says, hey, Arch, roll Tide. Yeah. So roll the video is what I did. We're going to get into that a little bit, and we're going to cover a couple of things first. Yeah, I figured as a special report, and I'll tell you a bit about it now before I run it, because it'll be in a little bit. Because we have a couple of things I want to cover. And yeah, I figured I watch a show called Redacted, and you're going to see it's a couple. They're about 45. They've been in, you might recognize them. They've actually been in, in the news, right? In the news business for a long time. They were originally in the news. They know people like Tucker Carlson. They're friends with him. And they were in New York in different news stations, NBC and whatever, back in the day, Fox News. This is like 90s. when they first started, got out of college and they first started. And she did a whole bunch of cool things too back then. She did a lot of technology reports. Beautiful woman. And they started a news show. Well, he started kind of like a news show a couple of years back. An interesting story is, and I'll just kind of give you the prelude to it, is he's like middle of the road, politically speaking. Really, what he always wanted to do was kind of cover journalism as a journalist. And she went to school for it, predominantly. He was always interested in like investing in things to improve your life, not just with the news in general, but financial, other things that you could kind of improve your life situation, and news programs. Even UFOs. He has a UFO channel too, so he's been following a lot of the stuff that's been going on recently in the government and whistleblowing, Senate hearings, etc. about UFOs. But she was a true journalist, and she was very much on the left for a long time, until like maybe a year or 2 years ago, when she joined him on the channel, and they were investigating and bringing different news pieces that you just never hear on mainstream media. And it didn't take her long, because her investigative journalism, which is what she was trained in, she's very good at, led her to finding out things that fly in the face of what we all hear out there. And I like the way she does the news, and she's a good investigative journalist, and she puts things together pretty good, especially for like a YouTube show. They do it on YouTube and Rumble. And they actually got the very first Rumble award. They had so many people watching on a live show and so many subscribers that Rumble didn't even have an award for that. They had to make one for this couple. So it's the last name is Morris, and the show is Redacted. That's Natalie, and when you see her and see him, he's a cool guy, but I can't remember his name right now because of her, right? Hold on, I want to go grab something. I forgot. I wanted to go bring the boxes and stuff over. Let me see what Robert's up to. Robert says, "What's up, Uncle Archie?" He says, "Got the Craftsman YS 4500 mower running, but the gas tank is leaking. Also got the LEHR curve shaft weed eater running again, even though it's running on propane." Really, propane? Yeah, I saw that. I saw a couple of the shorts, and you just put out another one. Did you ever get, I didn't follow it up, but did you ever get that chrome paint because you were working on the headlights? And you also, in one of your videos, I wasn't sure what you were doing, but you mentioned something about LED lights for the tractors and that you were having some issues. And some company hit me up recently about LED lights. And I've seen some stuff on LED lights before. I use them. I've been using them more often. But the ones that replace the lights in our cars, like the small 1156, 1157 style bulbs that you also find in the tractors, a lot of people have problems with those. So I got that and an offer to work with a lithium battery company. And I haven't said anything to them yet because I'm busy and I'm getting behind on stuff. But I like the idea of possibly, I'm going to measure out the batteries that I have here, because I think for some of these tractors, those lithium batteries for some of us might be a good advantage. I started using some of like the AGM style batteries in like my tractors and certain tractors that didn't have a lot of room. And I got to say, those are a little bit more, not much more expensive, but a little bit more expensive. And they're definitely better than like your Walmart lead acid. They're not much more expensive though. And then this would be a step up from that. And when they run sales on these, and they just recently ran a sale on a battery that I think would be well sized for a tractor. And it was like $60 or something. And keep in mind, these things, you can, when you crank on your tractor, they don't require, like they're almost like a deep cell battery, like a boat battery. Like they can like, go deep, and you can like really let them go down. We know when we run our drills and everything. There might be some advantage to it, especially if it's like your own stuff. I'm not suggesting that you Well, you could even sell them. I mean, if you have a little, outfit that you want to sell stuff. All right, so let's move to, let me get ready to set up EVs, fellas. So I think this will be interesting. Let's listen to a report. It's like 15 minutes. She gets into it, and it's interesting to hear. We all know about the problems with EVs. I think most of us know. There's a lot of problems with them. But even if you drop the price, and that's the really crazy thing when she gives you the specs and the info on that, with all these rebates, there was one who was like an F-150 style EV. They had it down to $7,000, and nobody wanted it. Nobody wanted it. They're like, no, I don't want it. And a lot of it's funny because the powers that be like shoot themselves in their foot. And I think that's what we'll talk about in a minute. Let me cue up her deal, and I can sit back and kind of watch it with you fellas. But first, fellas, we got a pregame.
All right, everyone. So it's Friday night. I'm getting ready to go out. This is the look. I'm feeling kind, but before I go out, I've got a pregame. And the only way I pregame is with an ice cold Bud Light. So good.
All right, let me cue up. Isn't that horrible? It is. It's just horrible. All right, I'm going to cue it up. We're going to get started. Let me just catch up. Those folks you showed earlier thinking we don't need gravity are all over EVs. Yeah, I know. I know. Whoops, there goes gravity. All right. Brett says we got to show my decorations tonight, too, if you're like, sure. We'll come when we come back from this. And here now, the news.
Redacted.
Well, Americans don't want these crappy electric vehicles, no matter how much they are offered in tax incentives. A group of about 4,000 car dealerships are begging President Biden to tap the brakes on electric vehicle mandates because EVs are just sitting there on lots. Here is Tom Maioli from Celebrity Motor Cars, who was one of the dealers who signed this letter, and he explains it to CNBC.
And this is basically the voice of the consumer. This is not the dealer. This is the voice of the consumer. And what's happening is the manufacturer is being forced to produce these EVs. They're shipping them to the dealerships, and they're backing up on the lots. Our average day supply pre-COVID was 60 to 90 days supply of inventory. During COVID, it was less than 30 because of the supply chain issues. We're now backed up to 12 months with EVs. Consumers don't want them. They're not buying them. We have up to $15,000 in rebates from the manufacturer and $7,500 tax credits. We're talking $22,500.
Now, the host goes on to say that despite these deep discounts, they're just sitting there. He talks about a Ford F-150 electric truck with only 25 miles on it, so brand new, marked down to $7,000. Brand new Ford truck. That's a $20,000 discount. Listen how the dealer responds to that super cheap car that no one wants, and then listen how he makes the distinction between these EVs that the government's pushing out and, of course, Tesla, which is a different story.
Still can't sell it. Consumer doesn't want it. The consumer's in fear over the infrastructure. The infrastructure is not there. The White House and the Biden administration and got way out over its skis with this mandate, and the consumer has to buy into it, and they're not. And the problem that exists now is, they force the manufacturers to spend all this money to build these plants and produce these vehicles, but the consumers aren't buying into it. They're afraid of range. They're afraid of where they're going to charge. And we're not talking about, listen, Tesla is a vanity purchase. People have to have a Tesla. They have a second vehicle. Most people can't afford the first vehicle, never mind the second vehicle. And these people are coming out to the dealerships and they're buying these vehicles and they're afraid. These are average working American people. They're putting their families in the car. Moms are driving their kids to school. Dads have to get to work. And, if they have to charge on the road and it takes 30 minutes to charge.
Okay, so this host cuts him off, but he talks about how these are not the Tesla driving crowd of the Silicon Valley. These are working people who can't be bothered to stop for a charge, or they don't want to pay the extra electricity bill because they're already hit enough with rising electricity costs, or they just don't have the infrastructure in their town that works into their daily life where they drop the kids off somewhere and they go to work. They're not like my father, who is constantly running to the Home Depot to charge his Tesla at the supercharger, and then his wife has to pick him up, and then she has to drop him back off when the car is full. It's a ridiculous inefficiency, but that's how my father lives his life with their Tesla, right?
It's like,
how much.
It's adding two extra gas powered trips to charge the electric vehicle.
Yes.
There's just some irony in there.
There's a lot.
I don't know if anybody missed that.
Honey, can you come? He doesn't have a truck, but I'm just saying, honey, can you go bring the truck and pick me up?
They do. They use the Infinity gas-powered car to drop the Tesla off and then come back for it later. And they bought this Tesla, I think, 5 years ago with a lifetime charge card, so they can go to these supercharged places in the Bay Area, and they do that. But if they sell the car, they can't even sell it because that lifetime charge does not pass down. So, yes, he's right. It's a status symbol. It's definitely not an efficiency. Here is the letter that we're talking about from the dealership. They're saying, we are asking you to shut down proposed regulations mandating battery vehicles, productions, and distributions. Take a look at where these businesses, the dealerships that signed this, do business. They're in all 50 states, and heavy in California, interestingly enough, where my father lives, where I'm from, and where there have been extra incentives from the state to sell EVs. And even there, they just can't sell them. Is it because EVs are so much more eco-friendly and the consumer just doesn't care about that? That's not the case. In fact, there's no research that EVs are more eco-friendly. That's a lie. We've shown you this data. They are incredibly taxing on the electric grid, which California doesn't have a lot of. And they, in places that rely on gas-powered power plants or coal, charging all of these EVs causes more greenhouse gas emissions, not less. Something the dealers quite rightly point out, though, is that the U.S. should wait until EV battery components are domestically sourced. Well, let's take a look at that for a second. What do they mean? They're referring to lithium and cobalt. Currently, those essential components for EVs are mined overseas. We've shown you the awful way that cobalt is mined in the Congo at a high cost to human life. Here is how the 70% of the world's cobalt comes from Congo, and these are cobalt mines. Incredibly tough working conditions, high fatality rate, low life expectancy. Here are the tunnels that are dug for workers to go and find more. These tunnels are unsupported. Men and boys regularly are buried alive in them because they collapse. The cobalt is then washed in rivers by women and girls. That polluted water causes disease for the entire population. We've discussed this in our interview with Siddharth Kara, the author of this book, Cobalt Red. Please watch it if you haven't already, or go back to watch it. So what do the dealers mean then, that we should wait until the U.S. can mine these things domestically? Well, the U.S. does have a plan to do this. They've paid lip service saying we do want to mine these things ourselves instead of rely on China or Congo. But here is why they haven't been able to. This is from the Institute for Energy Resources, a research saying that the Inflation Reduction Act from the Biden administration provides incentives and subsidies for car buyers and automakers. Here's what it is. But this is a dilemma. Look at the middle of this paragraph. Despite dozens of potential mines in the U.S. and Canada, most projects are in various stages of development and are years away from production, particularly because of what we call climate babies or environmental lawsuits delaying development due to multiple entry points for litigation in U.S. regulatory law. So even if we start now, we're not going to be able to keep up with what we would need to make all these EVs. That's in the U.S., though. What's sad about this is that cobalt workers would not work in those same conditions that they do in the Congo. It just wouldn't be allowed. We have OSHA. We have eyes. We wouldn't allow this. But when environmentalists maybe don't think about or just don't care about is that when they sue to block this mining in the U.S., they're making it worse for people working in the Congo. And what happens is that these much less regulated or not regulated at all, in the case of the Congo, that's where it's mined. And it's worse for the planet and it's worse for humans. So given that the Biden administration wants to mine these minerals, where are we with that? Well, Google Bard made me this nice list of cobalt mines currently in the works in the U.S. See how it says there, we already have Idaho cobalt operations, except we don't. Google Bard is Google's AI program, and they're absolutely wrong. Take a look at this. Just a few months ago, the Australian company that owns that mine ceased production because of high costs. You would think that the Biden administration, if they wanted these minerals so badly, would subsidize some of these costs, but they don't. Okay, what about lithium mines? Google Bard made this list of lithium mines in the United States. This is correct. Silver Peak Lithium Mine in Nevada is currently active. It's the only lithium mine in the United States, even though the United States pretty much invented lithium mining. And they generate a whole 1% of the world's annual lithium. Way to go, 1%. The rest of it comes mostly out of Chile and Argentina. That's 75%. So if we wait until the U.S. can domestically source these EV components, we'll probably be waiting forever, right?
Yeah, I mean, because Chile, is nationalized theirs because of a national security risk.
Yeah.
So that other people can't swoop in and steal it from them. They're like, wait a second, these EV minerals are so valuable, lithium, cobalt, et cetera, that we've nationalized it so that, and you see companies like Ford, Volkswagen, GM, Tesla are all, in fact, trying to buy up these mines or invest in these mines because they know how incredibly valuable they are. And the United States has virtually none of it. Zero.
Right. Another thing we don't have, though, is a way to make them a bit safer because lithium battery fires do happen. And when they happen on electric cars, they can be extremely dangerous because they typically take hours to put out because these batteries release flammable gases even after the flames have been put out. So we're seeing a huge increase in what we're calling light EV fires. Light EVs are not electric vehicle cars there. If you look at this graphic, mostly electric scooters, electric bicycles, electric lawnmowers. According to a report by EV FireSafe, there were over 500 EV battery fires in the first half of this year alone, resulting in 138 injuries and 36 deaths. 36 deaths. That's a lot. That's a significant increase from the 236 fires that were recorded last year. Here is just one of those headlines where 4 people died because a bike shop had a fire in their batteries that spread to an apartment building nearby. But let's get back to, these are not EV vehicles that you buy and drive around, your city. These are small vehicles. So we're focusing here on electric vehicle cars, and the Biden administration is pushing those. Well, this new Consumer Reports piece is not going to help at all. Consumer Reports found that EVs from 2021 through 2023 encountered nearly 80% more problems than vehicles propelled by internal combustion engines. So take a look at this here. They're making this distinction between hybrids, electric vehicles, and plug-in vehicles. So the baseline here is gas-powered cars, and we're showing how much more likely you are to have a problem. Well, EVs in the middle have quite a lot of problems, but the plug-in hybrids, which use plugging into a vehicle charging station versus regular hybrids, which are the kind of cars that sort of generate electricity on their own without plugging them in. Do you know the distinction between those types of cars that charge themselves?
Years ago, I had a hybrid.
Right.
Back in the day, I had a Ford Escape hybrid.
That did not plug in. Right.
No, it didn't plug in. It
right.
just used inertia and brakes.
Yeah.
Friction from the brakes to recharge it.
So if we can go back to that chart, those actually are better than only gas-powered vehicles. They have fewer problems because you do put gas in them, but the engine charges itself while you are driving. So those seem to be just fine. So given that these cars are not reliable, they don't go very far, they have a terrible track record on climate, and people don't want them, will the Biden administration stop using our tax dollars to push them to lots, which just become museums? Let us know what you think of that in the chat.
Well, and I feel like it's all financial, too, because there's been technologies using microalgae, where they can actually produce oil in the desert that's actually drinkable and stuff. It's like these technologies that exist that could actually fix the infrastructure that we currently have and not have to make everything electric. So it's like they choose the worst ways to mine the cobalt and all that other stuff instead of these technologies that have been around. Like there was a guy that ran from coast to coast on 2 gallons of water in a hydro car.
Yeah.
Like the technology is there, but they somehow bury it all the time.
Right.
Oh yeah. There's a long history of them burying it. I mean, heck, sodium ion technology, right? Sodium batteries have been around for hundreds of years. And why did those get suppressed? Mm-hmm. Well, that's interesting. They got suppressed because there was way more money in the other version of the batteries, right? In lithium and all of this other stuff. So now there's a big push for sodium ion. If they can do that, you won't have these deadly fires, right? And salt, it's far less destructive.
Right. And I'm not saying OSHA is perfect. Clearly they're not. But are we able to bring back up the image of people working in the Congo? There's no way that United States would have people working and dying in these big unsafe fields, collapsed in tunnels, and that would be the way that cobalt is mined. The United States absolutely could do it better, safer, and greener. In fact, we have technologies to mine lithium that are far greener than the way it's currently done. We just don't put it into use, again, because of litigation from these climate babies, and also because, we just don't look in the right area for solutions. So EVs seem to be a solution, in search of a problem.
It always pays to follow the money, because what happens is these technologies, the auto industry will buy the patents and then bury it. They buried the patent to that battery you're talking about. Like they buy the patent and then they bury it, and then no one can make it at that point.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. They go into Tesla's hotel room in New York City, and the FBI basically steals all of his documents. Right. And where's all that technology? Buried, hidden.
All right, that's a pretty interesting show, and I'll put a link in the description for their show. It usually starts like Eastern Standard Time around 4 p.m. About 4 nights a week. Anyway, she covers a lot in that, and there's a lot to cover in general. And I already have all this information, but I figured you guys would rather look at her than me. Right, because she is an attractive woman. Let me catch up with you guys. Jamie O says, let's see. Brett says, Biden all ate up. Just saying. Jamie O says, great information, Arch. Johny Bravo says, holy hell, my ex is from California, West LA, grew up on Malibu Beach, a true Valley girl, and a raving conservative. Knew Elizabeth Mondale personally. Wow, that's going back, huh? Yeah, she's a pretty lady, Natalie, right? I always forget her husband's name, but it's a good show. She covers a lot. And of course, there's more to cover, right? Because there's a lot to this whole EV thing. A couple of things I want to point out is, well, one, you look at where that's being mined. 70%, at least 70% of the, and that includes, by the way, includes the power cells for our phones and our fancy drills that we like, right? This is a big problem. Bravo says, yeah, well, we're old. Yeah, who is it? That's a problem. This is a big problem. So that's one issue, is that it doesn't help the planet at all. None of this has anything to do with globe climate change and all this other. I'm not supposed to say these words, unfortunately, because this is YouTube. You have to be careful. That's all about control and money. And by the way, that we now have found, and I didn't bring information for this, but we've just recently found some huge resources. Some of the biggest resources on the planet are here, and lithium and cobalt are here. And you're never going to be able to mine it because the EPA and all of these NGOs are going to block it. Like she said, the climate change babies and everything, they're going to block it. They're not going to allow it. Now, they just found a big slice, and it's on Indian reservation land. And I was talking to a customer earlier, and he says, and you know what they did? He says this is the old divide and conquer. Everything is about money and divide and conquer. They managed to basically promise two of the four Indian tribes a lot of money. And they're using those two Indian tribes to drive a wedge into the other two Indian tribes to free the land up. It's a big burial ground. What a mess, right? I don't know what to say on that. I have no valid opinion on that, right? It's Indian burial ground. I can't really say how I feel about that. What I will say is that many of these companies that are looking to mine, well, guess who they really are, right? Where does the money really come from? Not the company name, but where does the money come from? Well, companies like BP, Shell, Exxon, right? It's the same thing, right? They're just looking to dig up the planet more. And here's your EV running off of coal, because where the hell you think you're charging your EV from? I mean, we still have a lot of coal plants, even around the world, and even though they've been getting rid of them. So here's the other problem. So you need a huge infrastructure to run something like this in order to power it. You need to up your infrastructure. Huge. But meanwhile, and I've talked about this many times, in the EU and in this country, especially in the EU, in Germany, they shut down, they don't just shut down coal plants, they was shutting down gas plants. They banned the gas coming from Russia. We've been bottling gas and shipping it to them, which is a problem because now we have a problem with the canal, right? It's going dry. There's so many things wrong with this, and you can only transport so much gas, via a ship in these big bottles. So they're cutting down, and they're also getting rid of the nuclear power plants, which is like some of the cleanest power you can get. Granted, you're going to wind up with some of this waste, but we have solutions to that. But the same people that won't allow you to transport that stuff and put it in a mountain for the next 10,000 years, they won't let you do anything with it. So part of this problem is, on one hand, and I want to show you another video clip from almost a year ago of me talking about this, and talking about it from the perspective also is from lawnmowers and small equipment. On one hand, a lot of this stuff is coming from the WEF, the World Economic Forum, and the United Nations, forcing these countries, Western countries, to essentially shut down the infrastructure and the grid, including farming. That's, New York City just announced they're going to be controlling the meat consumption in the city. And they want you to eat bugs. Seriously, I'm not kidding. Like, I say this, I actually mentioned this on Ken's Small Engine earlier, and they were like, crickets. Like, people just don't know. They're like, what do you mean? Why would they do that? Why is it? And then meanwhile, they're talking about how like a New York skirt steak or steaks in general are getting so expensive. Why do you think that is? Right? They've been buying off the farmers and taking their land, and they're doing it in the Netherlands. On one hand, there's this war going on where the UN has Agenda 2030. It was part of the agenda for the 21st century. They want to depopulate the earth. They want to protect the earth. We're killing the earth. So get rid of the people, right? On one hand, they're doing this. On another hand, they're trying to force us into a direction that nobody wants to go, and while they're destroying the existing infrastructure. And these car companies literally, like, they're forced by the WEF and their equity. And, well, I'll talk a little bit about that in the next little video segment that I'll show. But they're trying to force this down the throats of most companies, right? This ESG, it's called Environmental, Social, and Governance. Governance by the UN. That's what it is. Governance by a handful of people. They're doing, by the way, they're doing the same thing with the internet, right? They're trying to restrict the internet. Governance. And in some areas, you will hate speech. Look at hate speech in Ireland right now. If you speak out about what's going on, they'll arrest you and fine you if you speak out. On one hand, that this is what they're doing, trying to destroy everything and make a mess of stuff. So it has nothing to do with like moving up in technology, protecting the planet. It's just a mess, and it's a money exchange. It's how they're trying to figure out how to take the money from us or from somewhere and shove it into somebody else's hands. Let me catch up. Oh, Blarney's here. Let's see. Let me catch up with you guys. Yeah, Ryan says, yeah, well road. Blarney says, what's happening to the hydrogen plant? Nothing. Nothing. Right? It's dead. It's dead in the water. That would probably be a good idea. They've talked about it for years. That's the sound those batteries make when they burst into flames. Yeah. Well, I like that. That's good. That's good. I love that. this is the problem. Now, I'm all for technology. You guys know, right? I even play with the junk stuff, right? Because it's part hobby. It's just, I've been doing it forever, and I love the idea of a lot of this stuff. By the way, I've driven some of the, what do you call it? The EVs that don't get charged, the ones that are the gas-powered EVs, the hybrids. And I drove one. My daughter rented one to go upstate with her mom last year, whenever it was. And it was great. I loved it. I forget what it was. I think they're really good. I think that's like the best way to go, honestly, just in general. The batteries are smaller. The batteries are better because you don't have to make this gigantic battery that is super heavy. By the way, every real electric vehicle is really heavy. It's going to beat up your brakes, it's going to beat up the tires, and it's going to beat up the road. Because it's really heavy. It's like the weight of a truck. So those smaller batteries, because they don't have to pack so many in, the battery is more service friendly, right? Like if you know what you're doing, you can go in there and remove it. They're not ridiculously expensive. They're not as dangerous. They're located in a good position. They're basically in a firewall spot. The engines run well. I mean, just everything. They're not taxed as hard. And I got to admit, I was impressed. Cost-wise, everything is getting ridiculously expensive. So a lot of what you're hearing here from this woman's, I think she did an excellent job, is the cost of everything is getting ridiculously high. And this has a lot to do with all of the money they've been pissing away since the lockdowns. And I said it before the lockdowns. They said, wait till you see what's going to happen. My father went through this when I was a young man in the 70s when we came off the gold standard and inflation went to hyperinflation. This is a cyclic thing. They do this on purpose, and it's always about moving money. So another little interesting fact, we had the CVID years approximately was about 500 days long. It's still going on, but approximately 500 days. Within those 500 days, 500 billionaires were created. That's a billionaire every day was created from that. And what it did was it soured the financial system. It devalued the dollar to such a degree that even the Arabs don't even want to bother us anymore. And part of it is Biden, but part of it is they don't want to back the dollar because we had essentially what's known as a petrodollar. I mean, we provided protection to the Saudis, and they provided oil on the market that we didn't have to drill. And everything was basically around the world. Everything is traded in dollars. And all of that is disappearing because most of the world is recognizing that the dollar is failing. And that must be on purpose, because why would they do it? Why would this administration continue to do this if it wasn't to destroy the country? Right? I mean, the globalists want one world government. They don't want us to be strong. We're a problem. So this is all intentional. It has nothing to do with saving the planet or changing the climate or any of this stuff. It's about money and control. And it's driving us broke. So the average person is not a driver of an EV, right? They can't afford to buy a new car, let alone an EV. They're certainly not going to buy some Tesla. And you can't even park them near each other. You can't put them in your garage. The insurance companies are going to put their foot down. They're going to raise their rates. It's not going to happen. And I said this about a year ago. It's not going to happen. It's not a solution. It's not going to happen for a lot of reasons. It's not going to work. It's not going to happen. And they know this. So that if they know this, then why the hell are they doing it? They're going to destroy the auto manufacturers too. And I'm telling you, that's what they want. Let me catch up to you guys. Bravo says, yeah, Formula One, 1.6 liter, 1,000 plus horsepower are hybrids. Yeah, but you can do cool stuff with them, right? So that's why I like, because an electric motor can make a lot of power really, really quick, which is kind of neat, right? It's got all that torque. It can keep spinning. You just have to crank the voltage. I love the technology. Why hydrogen? They're just not going to allow it. This is the path that they want to farm money on. They don't want to do it on hydrogen. You know, all of the technical issues with hydrogen can be dealt with. I mean, they're not even dealing with the technical issues with this nonsense. They're just letting it happen. So it's not about a technical issue or cost or whatever. Let me hit that. Let me set you up and we'll just play this and then we'll fool around. I want to go check out what Brett's up to. Let's see here. Let me set it up. Why is my electric lawnmower not working today? I've had it for a year. It's just, or more. It's just out of warranty. Now what? So it's going to come to a point where some of your skills are going to have to improve just to deal with what you have. Because other than that, you're going to be bringing it to somebody, and who is going to try and fix it? Like, who's going to be the guy that starts fixing the electric stuff? And is there even going to be a guy that does that, really? Because how long will it be before that person doesn't get enough work and they sort of outlaw, like California's outlawing all this stuff? It won't be long, a year or two, and just say, you know what, we're not selling them anymore. And then for a time, guys like me will be able to fix them, but after a while, a shop won't be able to operate, right? It makes a difference. And a shop trying to transition into something, if they can't do it effectively, quickly, they're in trouble. And the new Honda engines, I want to look into that a little bit more because I wanted to talk about on a show coming up is not so much that Honda isn't making mowers anymore, it's why. And nobody talks about why. They think they know, but they don't. It has to do with something called ESG, which is a political thing, and it's not a very nice thing. And by the way, the bank that just went out of business that they're going to keep in business, right? Well, they're an ESG bank, right? And pretty much any of these things that get involved in this stuff, they're a nightmare, all right? They destroy their own businesses. They destroy other businesses. Eventually, they go out of business. Yeah, let's go, Brandon. You know who else is like, Sri Lanka, right? You've heard of Sri Lanka, maybe in the news more recently, where they're eating out of the backs of garbage trucks, and they chased the president out of the country, and they were swimming and peeing in his pool, and like they're starving and everything. A number of years ago, they were not doing well. This is going back a ways, and they started to adopt some better farming practices and things, before the ESG nonsense, right? They were really good. They had abundance of food, and they were starting to supply food to other areas in the world. And then ESG came along, right? That's environmental, social, and governance. That's not government, it's governance. Governance is how they govern people by applying pressure financially, economically. It's like your social credit score, right? It's like a company has not been hiring enough people of varying degrees of incompetence based upon just their color and where they come from. We don't care if you're competent or not. We're just trying to fill a quota. And the company sucks because instead of hiring people based upon whether or not they can actually do the job, they hire them based upon some other thing. And if you don't toe that line, right, what winds up happening is, A, your company sucks, your customers hate you, and you go out of business. And like in the case of Sri Lanka, you can't get loans. You can't get the things that you need. Yes, exactly, Brett. You can't get the things you need. And they wound up starving, right? Still. But they have an ESG, you get a rating in ESG, and we're going to get them too, all right? And they have one of the highest ratings. It's like 98%. Because they toe the line and hit all the bullet points for what it means to be ESG friendly, and they're starving, right? But they have a good score, right? That's what's important. And I want to show, I started accumulating some information from Honda, and I will go back over this and I'll present it, but just briefly. Honda, by the way, I think the Japanese, I think it's Toyota. It's either Toyota or one of those. They decided not to even get involved in electric, a lot of this stuff. They just said they don't even want to touch it right now because they see that it's a control point, and if you're not in with the big boys, right, you won't get the money through the back door. And they're like, no, we'll let other people go down that road. Well, Honda kind of is doing the same thing, especially with the lawnmowers, right, because it's the first point of contact. And California in this country is the first point of contact. California is looking at it and going, well, we can go after lawnmowers because a lawnmower, yard equipment, if we eliminate that stuff, right, who's really going to fight us? What is like the lawnmower crew? You're going to have like in the Netherlands now, like with the farmers, the Dutch farmers, what is everybody that, is pissed off about not being able to get their gas lawnmower? They're going to like take their old lawnmowers and show up at the Capitol building and cut all our lawns and run them and rev them and, Oh, God. Oh, it's blocking out the sun. There's going to be some kind of an outrage and a protest from all the lawnmower people, right? So they went after that, right? Because, what do you guys, I'm going to hold like a meeting with you guys, start my own action group and like reach out to everybody that I talk to and be like, we're going to march on the Capitol. Bring your lawnmowers, your gas powered, bring your 2-stroke lawnmowers, right? And put a lot of extra oil in it so they smoke. And then we're going to start them all up at the Capitol building and we're going to protest this. Oh my God, that's fucking bizarre, right? Since that's not going to happen, okay, they figured we can screw them now. We're going to give it to them, right? So they started, there were millions and millions of dollars of lawsuits that Honda had to deal with. And they're like, no, it's a lawnmower. We don't want to deal with all of this and lawsuits. So Honda was like, all right, we're done. Okay. By the way, the other groups that were suing them were these quote unquote NGOs, non-governmental organizations. Like we could start an NGO, right? You need some money, you got to register it. And usually they're political action wings that go out and try to get something done, usually politically, right? To leverage something, either to shove somebody out of business or to shove somebody that they want in business a little higher up. Either way, there aren't too many NGOs that really do actually spend the money that they get appropriately. I'm sure there's a few, but these NGOs was suing Honda, okay? And again, I started accumulating some cuts and websites and other stuff, and I would like to actually talk about that on a separate video and show it and present that so that it's not just arch blabbling. Here's the website, go read it. Here's another website, go read it, right? Don't shoot me, I'm just the messenger. And so that's kind of happening in every industry, and in our world here, right, we're the first victims. We're the low-hanging, dangly bits that they want to grab onto and yank testicles right out from underneath you, right? That's what they're going to do, and that's what they're doing. And, another thing, too, is like all my life, every time I got into a particular industry, the most I ever worked in any industry was 7 years. When I get into any industry, it's on its way out. So these lawnmowers and things, nobody's retiring on any of this. If you're a young fella and you're getting into this, get into it. I'm not saying don't get into it. Milk it for whatever you can get out of it. If you can make some money, great. It's a good side job for sure. It's great to learn this stuff, but go get another job because it's not going to be here. And anybody thinks that they're going to have like Bob's Boutique electric mowers and service. Yeah. Good luck with that, right? Meanwhile, like you see now, what's going on with the banks. The whole purpose of all of this that's going on and bailing out these big guys, that's to consolidate and get rid of the smaller banks. Like I'm with BFCU, and I've been with it since I worked at Grumman. It's a small local bank. It's big now, but it's not like a big bank, right? So save the big banks, kill all the little guys, right? And then we have less to deal with. And they'll even say to you, maybe you should go to it. Don't put your money in a small bank because you might lose it. Put it in a big bank, right? Like the ones that are ripping everybody off, right? Yeah, go do that. Yeah. Sick world, right? It's just, you think it's one thing, nobody wants to talk about this stuff, but the thing is that it's when you're an adult, everything is politics. I'm trying to get my daughter understanding this at her age. She just turned 23. It's not politics, honey. It's fucking life. It's what you have to deal with trying to survive, and good luck getting ahead. trying to survive in the world that's presented to us by the idiots that are trying to steal everything and control. It's control and theft. Right? I call them the predator class, right? Other people call them the 1% or whatever, the elites. They're just predators. That's all they are. What they know how to do is steal. We are the ones that build everything. Who do you think builds everything on this planet? We do. We go out there, we put up the high rises, we make all the stuff, we make the chips, we service it all, we fix it all, we make it all. I don't care whether you're an engineer or a doctor or whatever. We're the ones that all do it, and they try to figure out how they can get in on that and steal. Ultimately, I mean, what I do every day with YouTube and with what I do for a living now and everything, you know why I do it? One, because I need to eat. Two, because I like it. I do it because I'm going to do something. Like if I was independent and I had enough money to survive, I would still do it. And I would work on cars, and I think all right, so kind of just to get back real quick and before I transition out, Husqvarna in particular, again, another European company. They don't give an F about what goes on here in this country. And recently, I think I actually showed some information on them where there are quite a number, and even, what's her name? That chick, the Chickanic, was talking about how essentially all these companies that they bought up, they're throwing them out of the country. They're throwing people out of their jobs. And there was one area where there was like 4,000 or 7,000 people or whatever that got fired in a town of, I don't know what she said it was, 40,000 people or something. I mean, those kinds of numbers are insane. So a European company, which has been operating here for years, has now gone full woke ESG and has bought up the American manufacturers. And so what are they doing? They're shoving the businesses out and moving some of it to Mexico and wherever else. And Americans lose their jobs once again in areas where, without a big company like that, there are no jobs at that point. Walmart, you're gonna support a family on that? It's really sad, and people don't know why this is happening. And I'm just trying to touch on why it's happening and that it's happening. And so, what is Husqvarna's answer? $2,000 to $10,000 robotic lawnmowers for the upper class, because nobody like us is ever going to have those things unless you have a lot of money. What the hell you're gonna buy a $2,000 lawnmower, a robotic lawnmower? I mean, they have it at the point now where your average crappy John Deere LT whatever lawn tractor from a box store, what used to be $1,500 is like $3,000, and it's a piece of junk, really. I mean, I work on them. The transmissions can't get up a hill after a bunch of years. Tough torque. And I'm not going to just blame tough torque on that. A lot of it is John Deere putting the wrong lubricant in. Anyway, let's see. Bravo says, I think Bree said, yeah, Briggs laid off a bunch, thousands. Yeah. And this is why. Because they don't. I've seen the future map of the United States. What they're talking about Homeland Security is partly involved in this. Just that word itself it strikes this nonsense. They work with the Department of Interior, and they're Bill Gates' largest quote unquote farmland. Yeah, they're buying up the land, and they're gonna create these corridors, and you already see it happening because my daughter is not gonna be able to ever afford to buy a piece of property. The American dream is dead. And they killed it. And the idea of it is so that you can't buy the property. So who buys the property? The bank. Who's the bank? Well, that would be BlackRock and others. I mean, they're over there in the Ukraine, right? Why are they over there, right? Get rid of all of the people that you don't want. And then they went in there and bought it all up. And you see, right? It's disappearing. The whole interest in it is disappearing. Right. Because eventually a truce will be called. And guess who's going to own all that land? Some of the prime real estate on the planet will no longer be owned, just like in the Netherlands, by your average person whose family is like in the Netherlands. Some of these farmers have been there for 500 years. Get out. Yep. Oh, pee break? Yeah, because they're building electric lawn implements to some degree. Yeah. Should we all take a pee break? Yeah, I could use a pee break. Hold on. Let me take a pee break. We'll come back and we're going to check out Brett. Hold on. And to the pit of misery for them. Right, that's what I say. We should all send them to the pit of misery. Let's let Brad escort them to the pit of misery. To the pit of misery. I love it, man. Pit of misery is just so awesome. Dilly dilly! Hold on. Pee break. Hold on. Let me see it. Oh, yeah. You guys like my little break thing? I'm so bad. And now for something completely different. All right, let's do something different now. So as depressing as that is, right? But, you know, I like to bring some weird stuff in and whatever and funny stuff and a little bit of what's going on in the world along with the crazy stuff. Before I go any further, though, let me grab, because I won't remember. Let me grab. I want to see. Yeah, I'm just playing around here for a minute. You know what? I'm going to go to Redacted real quick and just drop that link in. Oh, look, they actually happen to be awake right now. And I'll drop their link in so I don't forget. Let's see, we'll go to edit. Let's see. drop it in the description now. It's a good show. You know, a lot of what they talk about is stuff I already know, but they do a really good job of presenting things. And then we can go find Brett. I think sometimes it's just easier to have the pretty lady say it, right? She's pretty. She's an attractive woman. You know, for her age, for sure. They get in trouble too. Like they've done stuff where they've actually gotten thrown off of YouTube and stuff. And yeah, it's amazing what goes on. Let's see. I gotta find. I gotta find Brett. Where the hell is he again? Here he is. Let's go to Brett's page. I wonder if he's back yet. Hold on. Right monitor coming up. Stand by. Standing by. Here's Brett's page. Let's see what Brett's up to. Right. I have like a very similar tree. We actually got like this little piece of junk thing because I got, Christina's out and there's just no point. Here you go, 3 days ago. And I saw this video. Is this the one you're talking about, Brett? Hold on. Is this the one? Because I saw this the other day. Let's just check out his festivities. I think I have the audio on. There is no audio on this, though, fellas. He said. I think he told me that there's no audio on it. And I want to check out Robert. Robert, I want to see if I can find the Chrome thing. Look, I said to him, now you need the Yule log. You know? Yeah, that's got like those little laser lighty things on the end. Yeah, the lady bought something like that. That's very pretty. Now we need the Yule log. I'll have to cook up the Yule log. Yeah, then I want to go check out some of Robert's stuff. I want to see if I can find the one with the chrome paint. I suggested he get the chrome paint, and I wanted to see how the headlights came out. So we'll check him out in a minute. Let's just enjoy the. Oh, there you go. There's some nice. Yeah, it's LET. Yeah. Oh, okay. It's fiber optic. Gotcha. Yeah. Yeah, it's still going. You got a ways to go. Right. Johny Bravo says, "Holy crap! I'm glad I didn't have that tree back in the '70s." Why is that, Johnny? Right? Is it because you guys were partying on some psychotropics? I can't do any of that. I've tried mushrooms and stuff. The mushrooms were good. One time we tried LSD, and I was like, "Nah, I don't like this at all. This is wrong." For me, it is, at least. Yeah, no, I'm good. Just give me coffee and cigarettes and I'm happy. Trippin' tree. The trippin' tree. Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty. It's relaxing. Yeah, because we need something relaxing after the crap I just put you guys through. Oh, there we go. Isn't that a pretty house? It's like a really nice looking. It's got a big garage. I wish I had a garage that big back in the day. Oh, my God. I like that, too. The house is appropriately sized, and the garage should be bigger. That's nice. Keeps everything nice. Oh, somebody's in the basement. I see the basement lights are on. Isn't that a pretty neighborhood? You guys, I don't know if you guys have seen it, but he's got like this cool brick out in front in the street. I think that's what it is. Yeah, that looks good. Very nice neighborhood. I know, 22 wide, 28 deep. That's nice. That's about the size of this room that I'm in now. And the other little garage over there, the actual garage is smaller, though. It's like 19 by 19, 18, something like that. It's tiny. You know, I was going to add on to it, but then I just kind of ran out of money. Here we go. That was nice. Hold on, I'm coming back. Yeah, that was nice. Now I want to go find Robert. And let me poke around. Let's see. Where is Robert? I know he was just doing stuff, so I'll just, here's something he was fooling around with. Let me go to his page. Robert, we got to get you going in widescreen. Obviously for the shorts you don't, but, oh, here we go. Here's the one. All right, coming back. This is the one, right? You got the chrome paint. And let's see. Hold on, let me widen it up a little bit.
Well. A special package showed up for me today.
Why are we looking at your crotch, Robert?
But that's the box. They came in. So let's open this up and see what's in it.
Yeah, I know. Right now, you're always going to be thinking about that kind of stuff, Brett.
This party started.
At least for a while. Now we got the ceiling fan. Whoa, what did he just hit? Let's see the chrome paint. I got to get me some more of that. What'd you do to the camera, Robert? Today on How the Ceiling Fan Turns.
All right. Y'all ready for this?
As the ceiling fan turns.
Metallic chrome high gloss finish spray paint.
That's it.
This is for that white bundle.
And it kind of looks like what's on the top. At least it should.
GT tractor. Yeah. Now I'm going to have fun putting this on. I got to follow directions and see what the temperature is at which to apply it.
Room temperature is fine.
This is
you can apply it at room temperature.
My newest lawnmower project. I found out why it wasn't steering right and why it wouldn't turn over.
Why are we looking at your knee now?
Hydro locked. Gas it got.
Here's a spark plug. Wait. I picked up a plug too.
Focus.
He keeps his stuff really nice.
There we go. F7TC spark plug was in the engine.
The tripping tree. Yeah, hold on with that.
It's not
I don't need to buy anything.
For
so we got a nice new plug.
Stratton engines. And so far.
Yeah, these are the newer plugs.
The engine shows no sign of load head gasket.
Yeah, it looks a little black though. That plug's running black.
Pump out all that contaminated.
Yeah, your mixture has definitely got contaminated.
Fuel line.
All right, let's see.
You're gonna get
I want to see where did he spray that? Robert, where did you have a video on actually spraying it? Where you actually finished it? I don't see any. I see this guy here playing with his weed whacker. Is this the one, maybe? So this is the 30th. Is it maybe December 2nd? Because if you got it in on the 30th, let me look at videos. Let's go to the videos tab. Yeah, is this it? This might be it. No. That's the 28th. You got it on the 30th. That's the 30th. Let's see if this is it. Because he primed it on the 16th, right? So this is...
Okay.
He set it up. Oh, maybe this is it. No, this is when he primed it.
And trying to get it done, well...
You got it all cleaned up.
I'm doing it, but I'm going to try to set y'all somewhere where y'all see what I'm fixing to do with this gray.
Yeah, let me show you.
There we go. Super color adhesive.
It came out nice. Yeah, he shows it. Hold on.
Good. Better look at it.
There we go.
Yeah, not bad. For a visually impaired man, doing stuff that most people say, oh, it's just a waste of time. It's just a waste of time. Man.
No, it's fine that it's primed.
Paint.
Yeah, it looks good. It's just wet. All right, let me see if I can find. So if he got it on That's the 16th. He got it on the 30th. Maybe it's this one or the 2nd.
All right.
Said he did it.
Here she is in the shop. My next project. I do a few things to get it in the shop.
Yeah, that's the other lawnmower.
First thing was me.
No, I don't think you showed it, Robert.
XT. Look at them. Ain't they pretty? But I said, operators, they have issues.
Well, check out Robert's channel. Let me put a link too. Just kind of scan through it.
There's been more torture and see if I can try to get this steering wheel decent. I don't know if this.
Yeah, you're gonna have to cook that steering wheel.
I gotta do something to get all this gray off.
Try to get some of it off with a solvent and then cook it. This one I saw, you didn't do it there. This is the 28th.
The all-new Pizza Hut $7 deal lovers menu. Choose your $7 faves 7 days a week.
We gotta wait. We gotta wait.
Yep. Okay. Here is the XT's Craftsman cousin.
Yeah, that's a nice machine.
YS 4500. Yeah, it's a little difference in the hood shape. It don't have that air intake stuff in the top, but the front end is pretty much the same as the way the mower pan is held on. But the mower pan is a thicker mower pan. But the thing is, like I said, it's a hydro, and it won't roll.
Yeah.
And I looked at the brake system, but the thing is, I don't have to somehow get it in the shop, get jacked up, take the tire off, and figure out what's going on with the brake. Why that right rear tire?
It's probably the linkage.
When then forward. And I've got a few other issues, like I said. Let me show the engine real quick.
That's what happened with the Cub-Cadet. The linkage was bent. It wouldn't go.
That's the engine.
Into neutral properly. Wouldn't go into gear.
20 horse overhead valve gold ring Stratton engine. That's pretty much the same thing as the XT, just a few differences. There's a horsepower, half horsepower more.
The 20 horsepower, you said.
But that said, I've got a issue with the left front tire, just kind of whopper, and the right front tire flat. But it's pretty much the same thing, and even comes with an hour meter. It had 589 and 8/10 hours on the engine. And this is a 2003 model. In the back, under the seat.
Why are we sideways, Robert?
Yeah. He's got a few issues itself. But this is the identification tag on it.
What's the year? Oh, I can't read it.
Pretty much the same thing. 6 height,
Yeah, they're all Intech motors.
Adjustments for cutting, a little thicker deck, and plus the deck is a it has that kind of precision deck on it, but it has 4 anti-skid wheels, 2 on the front and 2 on the back. But like I said, I've got to get this thing up and running and doing something. It's not a bad mower, just needs a little TLC.
Yeah, it just needs a little bit.
Got to change the oil in it because the oil's got gas in it. Got to charge the battery, and a few other things. Hopefully the
Oh, is that right? That's an AYP?
map gas torch.
That's good.
To get the steering wheel looking right. And I got to get a seat cover for it and stuff like that. But it's pretty much the Poland XT's Craftsman cousin. And it's got the tag for all the different parts you're going to need and stuff like that. But that's that mower project. Now, for the other project.
Let's skip forward.
That weed eater. I've got to get another cylinder for it, find out what type of oil goes in it, and then on top the fact how much oil does actually go in it. Put the new tank on and fire it up. and see how she does. But it's very strange to have a 4-cycle engine that uses propane.
Yeah, let's check that out.
Those are my next projects.
Yeah, let's go.
Doing some other stuff, but
All right. I think he got that running. Hold on. Here it is here.
oh yeah, now that's it. I got this thing running, propane fired. Near curve shaft. I said 2 hours run time on a tank of gas. The problem out and right top oil and spark plug. The only thing I've got to find out is the valve settings because it's being an actual 4-cycle machine. But it is what it is, so y'all have a nice one, and I'll bring y'all back as time progresses on other projects. I might still be working on this, hoping it don't leak gas anymore, because I said more pan runs fine. It just had bad surging on idle and stuff, and it also had that switch that you have to put in a certain position to mold in reverse.
Yeah.
But she's doing fine. I got a seat cover for her, new tires and wheels, front and back. Just gotta get that one steering.
Yeah, that's a nice machine.
It should be good to go. Just like a cousin over here.
Yeah.
Needed a little TLC, but I'll have a good one. See y'all later. Bye.
Okay, I'm coming back. Let me catch up. All right, let's see. All right, so we went through garage is 22 wide by 28 deep. Tripping tree that was filmed the day before Minnie crossed the Rainbow Bridge. Arch, Brett says, Arch, I can give you a link to where you can buy the tripping tree. No, thanks. I don't need to spend any more money. He says, I got a wall tree coming to hang in one of the front windows that does all the fancy colors and patterns. I'll put that up on the channel when I get it. Nice. Brett says, yeah, ain't that pretty? I like that. What engine? Brakes and scrap. I'm kidding. Yeah. Intech motor. Brett says, AYP actually built the tractor, which is good. If the model starts with a 917, that's the Craftsman prefix for AYP. There might be that one might be an MTD. Because so much of it is MTD. Hold on, let me grab his link. Okay. So this is his home page. And, all right, that's, does it say? Yeah, all right, good. It says on it. It's Robert. And then, you'll throw it in the, we'll put him in the description too. Hold on. Let me get that in there. Save that. Nice. 247 is a prefix for MTD. I couldn't see it because it just shook too much. That's the camera that shakes, like my other cell phone, like this one here. Right? It shakes as bad. It shakes as bad as this guy, but it doesn't freak out as much. His cell phone. This thing just freaks out. It has to just be stationary. But no battery. There's nothing I can do with it. Can't get a battery for it. There's nothing I can do with it other than prop it up. But you're right, Brett. I need a more of like a wide angle. But all that stuff has to wait because I don't have the money for that. And I have plenty of things to do. But, part of it is like what I do here is hobby. Part of it is, I've said this, I'm kind of blessed. Because part of what I do at Arch's Garage and what I, do for a living and everything, it's like part hobby and part business. And sometimes I have the ability to, I get confused as to which one is which. And that's a nice place to be. I enjoy that. The money is difficult. It's hard making enough money to survive these days because I got kicked down so bad with everything that happened in my life. But, you do the best you can and you just keep moving forward, What is this one? That was 4 days ago. That's on the 28th. This is a different one. She's home tonight. Let me just see what he's doing here. Oh, I like this tractor. Hold on. Let me bring you back to him for a minute. This is the green one. And he's got these wicked tires on it. Let's take a quick peek at this before we move forward.
Okay, GT.
Look at those tires. That's what I need on the front of my Sunstar. Hopefully he'll give us a better shot. That's why you need to be in widescreen for this stuff, Robert. Just flip the camera. You might have to get one of those different mounts where you can just kind of flip it. Yeah, I got a couple of those out in the yard. I think I showed you. I picked up a new one. Christina actually helped set me up with one at the end of the year. It was nice. That's the one I showed you. It needs the motor, or it just doesn't have any compression. It just could be a stuck valve. I think I showed you guys that. Let's see if I can find it again. We don't know what you're doing, Robert. You got to bring us into the party. Let's go through it a little bit. Yeah, that looks cool. Yeah, I like these models. He's got the push bar on the front. There's the headlights.
Fire the engine up and see what's going to happen. But that is the incandescent. That is the new LED.
I like the LED.
And I'm going to probably swap the other one out. Well, fire it up and see what happens. See if we get a little bit better.
Yeah, I think the LED's a little bit nicer. A little wider, a little brighter. Let's see.
Let's
swap out the bulb.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, here we go. Here we go.
Battery needs charging. That is the incandescent.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to put the other incandescent in, so let me shut off. Pop the
I like the
back
LED.
on, put the other LED in there and fire up and see what happens.
Here we go. That's bright. That sounds good. Oh, wow. Wait, hold on. Let me back up. Yeah. Yeah, that's bright.
Good current in the battery now. Turn the lights off. Oh, yeah, buddy.
Yeah, that's bright.
That's it. These bulbs will last a long
Good job.
time. It took a little while to get them. And that's what the new LED bulbs made for GT tractors. I like that. Yeah, that's much better. That's the wall with lights on. But
Yeah, it's bright.
I like that.
It's lighting up that
That'll
shop.
last
That
a
chop.
All right. I'll see y'all later. I got
Nice.
a couple other videos.
All right, let me catch up. So 247 is the prefix for MTD. Brett says, "Where's Chris tonight?" I think she's just home. I'll tell her you said hi. I think she was threatening to stop by tomorrow. She's just kind of chilling out. I think her roommate is in Florida. She was going to go to Florida, but she's like, "Dad, I just want to kind of hang out. I don't want to really do anything." So I think she showed some pictures of some food she made, which looked really good, which is making me hungry as we speak. And yeah, we're a little over 2 hours, so I'm going to kill a little bit early, but we'll hang out a little bit longer. Yeah, Robert says he laid the phone down in the bed. I know you got to get some like cheap stands, like the one that I have over there and stuff that you can kind of set the phone up widthwise when you're doing these, or turn it the other way, vertical when you do your shorts, and you can pick it, and then you can set the thing down. Also, you can just edit. Like, I don't know how, you'd have to, well, I can't edit on a phone. Some of you fellas can, I can't. I just can't handle it. It's too small for me. It freaks me out. It just freaks me out. But you can edit on a phone. You can edit on a laptop for sure. You can edit on a tablet. There's a lot of really good editors out there, and you can just cut. You could, if that's what you want to do, if you're like, well, hell with it, let me just lay the phone down. Yeah, just cut it out. And then when you're ready, you pick the phone back up, start taking some more footage, and that's where you start, your edit and end your edit. And you just cut all that stuff out and do whatever the hell you want. But it's nice to have a little stand, something small. They make this one little stand, which is nice. It's got a place where you hold it, right? So you can turn your camera whichever way you want, wide or vertical. And then it's got a place where you hold it to make it steady. And then it's got these like feet, either the spreadable feet or whatever, that when you go to put it down on something flat, it stays. And they make a whole different bunch of these things. And they're really nice, but you want an area in the center where you can hold it proper and it doesn't shake and you can kind of grab it more natural. And a lot of this stuff is cheap, especially for the phones, because the phones are lightweight. That's one of the beauties of the phones, is that they're lightweight. So everything that you buy for them, whether it's a cheesy gimbal, I think I showed a gimbal a couple of weeks back. It was like a cheap gimbal, which means you can keep your phone steady and the footage will be steady. And they're like $100 or something. And then you can flip the phone and do all different stuff with it, and it sets down. And this stuff for phones is amazingly inexpensive because it doesn't have to be big and beefy and professional. You're not supporting a big, heavy camera. Let's see. Let me catch up. Early 2000s model. Yeah. I like those. Maybe I'll see if I can find the one that I showed a while back. Robert says, back in the day, we had a Christmas tree that we had with a rotating colored light with 3 different colors to light the tree up back in the 60s. Yeah. We also had these things that went on. Yeah, they rotated. I remember that. My parents had that. Brett says he's seen those chrome needles on the tree. He laid the phone down. Red says, I want to rig up an LED light bar on the old Craftsman snowblower. Yeah, that'd blast up. Well, like I was mentioning, that this company approached me, so they have all kinds of different bulbs for the cars, for trucks, for lawnmowers, for motorcycles. So I'm going to see if I can work with them. There's a few companies, even another polisher. I'm just overloaded. And although, by the way, it was interesting because I did that review on the grinder. I don't know if you fellas saw it. It's boring, right? But I really dug deep. And the company said they actually liked the video because I actually dug deep and showed you how to set up that thing and some secret settings and whatever. And I actually went through it. It's not going to be a popular video or whatever, but they liked it. They were like, because you actually did things that no one else did. Because most people just grab it and they go, I like it or I don't like it. They sharpen a blade with it. And I was like, no, I'm not going to do that. I actually like the tool. I definitely enjoyed making the video. And it's out there for, however long, right? It's just one of those things that people will watch from time to time. I was glad to do the review. It'll be in other videos. And I tell a lot of these manufacturers, I'm like, I'm a small channel, so it's kind of silly for me to try to do some kind of a professional product review, because that's not what my channel does. I said, really, like when you see the super clean spots, they love that stuff because it's these little minute, 2 minute, 30-second little spots in a video, and it's frequent. And that's, for my channel, that's really where I want to be, doing stuff like that. Not these longer extended views, because that's not my channel. Let's see. Brett says, I edit on my phone with that software. Perfect video for iOS. Yeah, see? Yep. So, there's plenty of stuff out there to play with. Honestly, editing is where it's at. Even simple edits. Just cutting out the whoops stuff and just getting that out of there. And this way people can just focus on the stuff you're trying to show them. Comes out so much nicer. He goes, Robert says, no, I did do a video on that spray paint job on the headlight bezel. Where is it? I couldn't find it. I wanted to see what it looked like when you were done, like a close-up of what it looks like when it's dry. Let's see, Bleach says, hey, Bleach, started playing Rearrange 'em in garage, going to scrap a lot of stuff, make room. Good idea. Yep. Just like I said last time, just making room, making piles, you know, trying to have some fun, clear the floor. Oh, look, there's the floor. I can see the floor again. Yeah, it's nice. Robert says, I did a video on the paint job today. Oh, okay. So you haven't released it yet, I guess, because I didn't see it. I don't want to see that. I like the chrome stuff for things like that. Keeping something like that around in the shop. I actually need some because I've got a whole bunch of those greenies out there. Let me see if I can find it. And there's some up here, and I've got the little plasticky chromy inserts that go in, and they're all a mess. So I thought, well, it'd be nice. I keep extras for some of the tractors that I want to restore. And I try to always take the best ones, but, you know, Johny Bravo says, what the heck is the floor you speak of? Yeah. Yeah, Robert says, I'm not a cameraman. Well, it takes practice. It's just practice. You just you do something, you hold it steady, and then when you can't hold it steady anymore, that's when you cut. And then you hold it as steady as you can, and you run that footage, and then you stop, don't say anything, and then you cut, right? That's where your cut is. So I think it was Mixed Mowers told Bruce, this is like 6 or 7 months ago or whatever, Bruce was saying, I think on Ken Small Engine, he was saying, the best thing I learned more recently, because Bruce has been doing it for like 15 years, he goes, Mick told me that if you want to edit, he says, and you want to improve your videos, the first step is when you're taking your shot, when you press record, wait a few seconds, there's your cut space, and then when you're done speaking, wait a few seconds, and there's your other cut space, and just keep doing that. And Bruce said that was the best thing right there, because just that one thing, because he's been editing more, and he said just that one thing has enabled him to do better edits and not cut off. And if you're moving the camera, like one of the things I learned right away is don't talk while you're moving the camera. Don't talk. Don't say anything. Because if the shot gets all screwed up and shaky, okay, I didn't say anything. I'm moving the camera. I didn't say anything. When I'm done moving the camera, I wait a few seconds and then I start talking. Because if I screw up and I'm not holding it steady and it looks all shaky, I can cut all that out. Bleach says, let's see, Bleach says, putting stuff in totes. No one seems to want snapper stuff anymore. Yeah, some of the stuff you're not going to be able to get rid of. Keep what you can. Bleach says, Bravo, I want my floor back and my workbench. Yeah, I told you last time. Just focus on the floor and the workbench. And I'm telling you, you're going to feel so much better. Brett says, that's what I do. Some lead time in the beginning and the end of the clip so I can edit or apply transitions. Yeah, just that like simple, hold the camera steady, don't talk over when you're moving, give yourself that little bit of lead silence, and then a simple editor, and like, bro, it's like it goes from what you were doing to something completely different. You know, and then from there, right, you start getting bigger, fatter ideas, like my idiot head, right? I start getting, I can put this in and I can do B-roll. You don't have to do any of that. You know, this is part my hobby, but also for me, it's also kind of like, well, I've been wanting to do stuff like this forever, but, I was too busy and too many other things were going on. I went to school for it. I watch a lot of this stuff. I watch on cinematography and film, and I started off, if you really want to learn photography, video, if you really want to learn video, take photography courses, because that'll teach you what a camera is and what it can do and what it can't do and how it works. It's just like, if you really want to tune an engine, take one apart and rebuild it. Yeah. I mean, if you really want to know how to tune an engine, you got to take it all apart and study how everything works on the inside and put it back together again. Know how camshaft works. Not just the basics. I'm talking like cam overlap, duration, valve lift, piston timing, right? Before TDC, after TDC, why would it spark, lead, advance, retard? flow, CFM. I mean, it's an air pump, but it's a lot more than that. Let's see. Brett says, you saw my editing skills in the pressure washing video. Yeah, Bill, and Billy says hi. Cool. Yeah, I mean, you know what? No, you don't see it. That's the key. Sometimes is it like you see my editing, right? But sometimes it's what you don't see. It's the same thing in playing music. Sometimes it's not about what you're playing. It's what you didn't play. It's the silence between the notes. It's what you don't play. And that video is seamless that you made. You don't feel like my videos, you feel like this editing and stuff going on, which is fine. But in that video, it actually feels like it's so smooth that you don't notice. And that I like. That's cool. Yeah, how you went from clip to clip. Bleach says, put empty cans, oil bottles in trash. Good. I only do bases for years, but have gotten better. Yeah. So that's awesome, Bleach. You should be making some videos of some of this, right? And you can do shorts, 1 minute, or a 5-minute widescreen. And like I said last time, because we want to see, I mean, I do. So I'm speaking for everybody because I'm the one that's got the mic. We want to see. We want to see what you're doing. We want to see you fooling around in your garage, cleaning stuff up. I want to see the piles of crap. Because I'm a Mungo guy, right? I love stuff like that. And I like to see the before and afters. I just get a kick out of stupid stuff like that, I think it's fun. I like to see the transformations, Yeah, how you went from clip to clip. Yup. Yeah. Bleached PC Garage 8. Yeah. I put the new cat up. If I get, I can't read it because there's this stupid icon over there, so I have to wait. There's some kind of a heart icon when I can click on all these silly emojis like this. Watch. I don't know what it's doing. It's just floating stuff. But it's right in the way of the last person that writes something. Okay, now it says, I'll put the new cat up if I get one. Yes. Yes. Bleach says, I'm embarrassed see, I can't read that. How bad it got and show it when it's done. No, don't. We get it, bro. It's to react to the comment, but it's in the way. Can't they move it somewhere else? Can I drag it? Is there any little is there something I can drag? No. Nope. I'll have to play with this. What's this? I'm clicking on things, fellas. Yeah, it's to react to the comment. Yeah, what the hell do I know? I don't want that. I mean, you want it, but not in the way. And the stupid thing is it's at the very bottom, which is always the last person to comment, and I can't read it. What if you're going to put a tool like that? Put it up towards the top, where it doesn't matter. I don't think there's any way to drag it. I see these little. Sometimes if I lay over it for a minute, I see the 3 dots. I forget what they call that. There's a name for that. The hamburger or something like that. I don't know what they call it. Look, there it is there. Oh, you're annoying me, you little thing. Let's see, can we widen this? No, let me widen it. Participants pop out chat. I can pop out the chat. Yeah, all right, good. All right, I popped out the chat and I put it on the monitor. Oh, it's still there. Let's see if it gets in the way. Oh, that's poor. That is just poor. Yep, still there. Restore chat. So that was. Let's see. Where did the chat go? Uh-oh, I don't know where the chat went. Pop out chat. Let's see. I guess I have to leave it. I tried to click the restore chat, but nothing happened. Let's see. Bleach says, I think I should make a video of what I scrap. Yeah. Brent says, I want an orange and white short hair kitten. If it's a boy, I'll name him Trumper. If it's a girl, I'll name Marmalade. Yeah. That would be cool. I'm allergic to cats, but I don't think I'm allergic to them the same way anymore. At one point, it was really bad. Let me see if I can find that tractor. Tractor! That's what Christina says. Yeah, I enjoyed that. Let me just scroll through some of the stuff. I might have moved it. We can collapse that down. So it's not there. It's not going to be there. It's not going to be there. It must be like a month ago. It was still warm out when I was playing with it. I tried selling. I redid a Honda Harmony. Nobody wants it. Tried selling it even for $100 with the bag. Push. Nobody wants it. Been selling lawnmowers. They just don't want that. I've been selling some nice ones. I actually picked up today. I traded. I didn't get much for the lawnmower because it's the end of the year. And I traded a nice Toro with the bag, 22-inch. And I think I got $110 plus a nice 10 to 15-year-old Craftsman, the ones that I like, the black one with a Honda motor, with the bag. It's in very nice shape. It's dirty, but the front wheels are worn, completely worn. So I got to chat with that company again and get some wheels from them. I actually have 2 lawnmowers just like this that I need wheels for. Yeah, I think I moved it. Oh, is this it? Yeah, here it is. Yeah, here we go. Yeah, I don't know about that. Let's see. I don't know how it is with cats. Let me catch up. Lee says, yeah, Brett, yes, get a cute Garfield kitty. And Brett says, I won't do that until Charlie passes. It may upset him. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't know how cats are, but like dogs, you can. The old dog teaches the new dog stuff, and it gives the old dog sort of a bit of a purpose. Some say, yeah, it burns them out. I mean, I've done this several times. It can, but it gives the old dog a sense of purpose, and I've actually witnessed this, and the old dog helps you to train the new dog. Boy, is that a big help. Seriously. I don't know how it is with cats, though. And I've thought about that, but nobody wants another dog, at least not at this moment in time. Now, let's just take a look at this before I get out of here, because I like these tractors. Hey, fellas. So my daughter helped me procure this one. Jeep, too. 16 IC. These are usually like 17, but let me get out of my own light. But this thing, he said he got it running. I mean, he got it to kick and fire. Couldn't get it running. And I'll show you a little bit more about that in a minute. Just wanted to show you the overall look of it. And the tires have air in it. I don't know if he put air in them, but was his mother's or his friend's mom. And I don't know, they were doing something to it. Trying to see, a woman had this in a lawnmower, which I'll show you that in a minute as well. On the property, sitting for a long time. And said, why don't you see if you can sell it? Maybe, you know, because he's looking for cash. Because no concrete work right now for him. Young fella, my daughter set me up with this. Friend of hers. Keys are in it too. And then here's took the deck off. The deck is in good shape. Looks like it needs a blade. Other than that, looks pretty good. Right, so basically everything is here. Now let me show you what I was showing him. I think he said it was kind of locked or whatever, or just like it didn't want to spin, or they tried jumping it. Not really sure, but I showed him this. All right, so he says it spins now. I said, yeah, but look at how easy it spins. So either what might have happened if it kicked is that that's maybe why the valves were closed or it was a little stuck. It kicked because they were playing around with the carburetor or something. It kicked through the valve open. That was the last of that. And that could be the case. Now, I do have other motors, but hey, the body is in such nice shape. Like, this is one of the best bodies I have. Because I have a whole bunch back there, and I'll show you that as well. So we have other motors, but I think what we'll do is when I get a chance, I'll clean this thing up. We'll bring it in, and we'll evaluate, because it probably just needs to have the head to come off or something, or just free up that valve, get everything going again. I mean, it's in really nice shape. The tread on the tires is good. Let me go over here and show you in the light. So this is all nice. And the nose looks good. There's not a lot of rot on it. It's pretty clean overall, really. I mean, when I clean it up, you guys know it'll be nice. And this is the mower that came with it, Kohler engine, which, you know, I'm not a big fan of these Kohlers, but the body looks decent. There's a little bit of a pimpling over here. We can freshen that up. He says he thinks he has the bag. He remembers seeing it. We got this going on. So we have, you know, it's on the vomit. It's on the vomit destruction pile. It's garbage. Just put another motor on, fellas. No, we'll it's look crap. at it. I took some parts off of it. If you want, don't kill yourself. But if you do find the bag, he never gave me the bag. Now some of you have seen some of this before. Yeah, this is the junkyard. The one with the big motor in it. Right. A lot of this we need to go through this stuff, fellas. And we gotta go through this stuff. Maybe it'll be over the winter. It depends. If we get a lot of snow, this will be buried. But at some point, this all needs to be gone through. That motor should run. This body's kind of shot. Same with this body, kind of a little bit shot. Nothing's too terrible, but the idea is to figure out what I have. This is the nice, what I call the opposed or boxer motor. I like that motor. Right, nice motor. I want that motor. That's mine. I got a big deck back there, 46 for one of these. That's like new. Beautiful deck. But probably won't use that because it's kind of big for our properties. This guy we got to get to. And this is the one that I got running a couple of years ago. Although, who knows, maybe the mice have been back in it and screwed it up again. The body's okay. There's no cutting deck. I drove it around. I know the tranny works on this. So we'll have to see what comes of all of this. But just, you know, for you guys, a quick update. This hood's in decent shape. So you got two decent hoods there. So there's some pieces here to work with. Yeah, see what else. Yeah, those are just the picks. What do you think, fellas? This is coming up. Just pick this one up. It's a nice shape. I think I'll make anything really wrong with the engine. It doesn't seem like it has any compression. Could be a stuck valve. So let's take a quick look at the look, fellas. Think you got enough golf balls? One more. All right, and this is just like from the other day. All right, let me. Yeah, that was like a couple of months ago. Rake some out of the way because I got to move the tractor around. I mean, it's a nightmare trying to walk on these things. All right, see? So these walnut trees, right? There's still a whole lot left. This one last year it had no fruit, both of them, probably because it was spraying so much. This year it's really gone out of its way. Sun's to my right, so I don't want you to. They're the first to get leaves and the first to drop everything. They don't turn colors, they just drop their leaves. Well, they turn brown and they drop all of these things. All right, we got to get a tractor up the ramp, so let me clean all this out of the way, so at least make a way, because this is trip hazard. Plus, oh God, I'm gonna push it up and it's just gonna get stuck. Yeah, it's bad. So let me catch up. Yeah, I don't want to do that until he passes. It may upset him. Blah blah blah. You want to give Charlie your undivided attention. Yeah, like usually with the dogs, I would wait like a year-ish before, you know, because even Apollo was around another dog for a while. So I usually wait. I wait for a period of time. It depends upon what it's doing, but I don't know how cats are. Robert says, I have a tripod for my phone and tablet. Nice. Looks like Robert's tractor. Yeah. Same motor. Yup. And it might just be a bad head gasket or a valve stuck. But that body is in nice shape. I don't know if there's any differences in the transmissions between these different models. I don't know. Most of them have a similar transmission. I don't know if some are any beefier than others, depending upon whether or not they got a bigger motor. I can tell you that one would probably be fixed and sold. It's a nice tractor. Everything's in nice shape. The other thing I thought of, is to go back there and literally part stuff out, right? I've had that big, new 46-inch cutting deck. My thinking was take the big twin-cylinder motor, find the best body, shove that motor on there, get it running good, and put the big deck on it and sell it. with the big tires. The other thing I would do is maybe take the one I was just showing you that's really clean, and if it does need a motor, take that opposed twin, and as I want that, and put it on this nice body and just keep one for myself with whatever deck, because I have a couple of decks, but they all need to be serviced. And so if I can get one together that can be sold, go through my parts, decide what I want to keep, maybe keep one for myself. I don't need the big wide deck. It's too big for me. And then see where I am, right? One that I said that runs, the body is okay, but it needs paint. The motor ran fine. It's like a 17, 18 horsepower Intech, same kind of thing. Probably have a deck for it. Maybe put a little paint on it, out the door. Maybe that's one of the ones that I just get rid of first. And then see, because that big motor is on, what it's on is really rusty. It's bad. So I don't think I want to really keep anything like that, right? It's hard to fix. Which says, I've not been sleeping good this week. Slept great last night, first time in a week. That's good. Yeah, Brett says, yeah, that's a nice V-twin. I think it just needs like a full service. Bleach says, thinking of getting a tripod for my phone to do lives. Yeah, don't you have a tripod? I think I've showed some of mine. The K&F Concepts, they're really nice tripods if you can afford one. You can get some cheap stuff. My friend Rob just bought a really nice cheapy tripod. And it folds up small because they like to travel. Yep, Brett says there's an MTD, yep. Robert says, I'll do another video on the paint job on the headlight bezel tomorrow morning. Nice. Yeah, because I want to see that. I like that chrome stuff. And like I said, I really could use some because I have a whole bunch of those bezels and I've got a whole bunch of the plastics that I need to buff out. There's a lot of parts back there. It's like, I got to get to it because they're getting ruined and you can't use it like that. Like, if you don't spend the time, it's the same thing with the mowers. I occasionally spend the time going through them, cleaning everything up, putting the parts away, even just in boxes or totes, getting them relatively clean. The tires can be stacked. I can figure out what tires and rims are worth keeping, match my pairs. And another thing I want to do some point this year is I have that big old push generator that I was working on like a year ago and I did some videos on. It's a big old like 17 horsepower cast iron Briggs that had a generator on it. So it's got this big like trailer thing that you have big handles on. And the wheels on it are like road wheels. Like they're pneumatic tires that are mounted to bearinged, spindled wheels. And it's not going to be a generator. And I don't really need the motor. I mean, I keep the motor for parts. But I was thinking just making a rig that sits on top of it, just a simple frame, maybe a piece cut out from one of the tractors, support it up, and because it's got the big heavy pneumatic tires, it's easy to wheel around, put my tractor motors on. I also have two like 17 to 20 horsepower Intex laying in the yard over there somewhere. There's at least two of them over there. Then there's all the other ones that I have. So I have a table that you've seen me fire up some of these smaller engines on, but it's not really set up to do like a bigger tractor, sized engine. It's not really set up for that. And I don't think I want to set it up for that. I might just leave it as an extra work table outside and something to bolt up these smaller Briggs and whatever engines to, and lawnmower engines and stuff like that. And just make this other thing into like a running stand. I already started making it. It's got a throttle on it. It's got a kill switch on it. I could mount the fuel tank. Yeah, I got to fix that light. The wire and plug is beat, and it's like a safety hazard. Let's see. And so he's going to do that tomorrow. Tractor! Yeah, it's my daughter. Hi, Christina. Tractor! Bro says, quick update on my dad's 1940. I still haven't seen. Let's see. Did you put that up? Let's go check him out. Outboard Motor Project. I wrecked the power head. Might post a video on what not to do. Good news is I found a good one, and now it's here. Nice. Bleach says, I have a tripod. It's not for cell phones, though. You might be able to get an adapter for it. That's what I use. I use all those adapters. They mount to these shoes. I forget what they call them, the mount. I always forget what they call them out. Let's go take a peek at. Let's see, Bravo. Where are you? Let me just search for you because I know I subscribe to you, but I have over 500 now. I'm like almost at 600 people. Let's see. Can I just copy your name? Yeah. Make my life easier. Yeah, here we go. Let's see now. Where are we? Let me put a link in, fellas. Why is it coming as a... It shouldn't be a search query. No, hold on. Well, it's coming up as a query, but that's not really a query. Just go here. Oh, yeah. I guess it is a query in a way. Hold on. Just get rid of that. So I watched that already. Yeah, did you mean Johny Bravo 1? Yes. Hold on, fellas, bear with me. Yeah, let me put this in. Hold on. This is correct. That's his channel. Well, let me go real quick over to the hit the edit tab and go over to my description. Yeah, we'll do that. There we go. Okay, that's in. All right. Yeah, that's correct. But he says, 2 VITs up on the outboard motor. Good. We're going to check through that real quick. But he says, I want to make a how-to on falling over stuff on my garage with no floor. Yeah. Let's see. Let's go to videos. Yeah, here we go. Here we go. Going up. Stand by. Yeah, that snapper came out nice. Yeah. Oh, here's the dad's 1948 Johnson LT boat motor. Here's this one, and then here's the stacking the stacker and lift, and then this is 3 weeks ago. This is 4 weeks ago. So let's just check this one out real quick. Any audio? Not yet. Whoa, that's all over the place. Yeah, you're moving way too quick. Yeah, let's get to, uh-oh. Back in there again. There we go. Yeah, you're moving too quick for the camera. I can't handle it. Wow. It looks clean. Considering. Yeah, some of these cameras, they can't handle that kind of stuff. Yeah, that's going to make me vomit. Hold on, fellas. Let's see if we can get in here. That's a little bit more stable.
He'd put this thing in the trunk of the car, pick up my brother, and then we'd go down to Lucy's Ranch and
wow.
Tennessee River here in Alabama, and put this thing on the back of a John boat he'd rent for the day, and we'd go motoring around fishing all day long.
Good times. Divine Crank. Yeah, that's up as high as I can go.
Model and serial number on it there. I think I've got an engine stand up in the other garage. But I'm going to put this thing on.
Wow, look at that lever.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff all frozen up here.
Look at the rope on it.
Engine doesn't turn.
It's like dinosaur rope.
Must be in neutral. Because the propeller does turn. So boy, we put many a mile on this little guy right here.
Oh, I saw a little play.
This is my next project. I know absolutely nothing about these things, so this is going to be a learning experience.
Aren't they all?
Can't tell. It looks like it must be a twin cylinder. Will that be the cylinder 1 and cylinder 2?
Yeah, it looks like it.
I'm not sure. Let's see. There's 2 spark plugs.
Blood Nose. He goes, they use EV now. What's up, Blood Nose?
And take another look at it. Well, here it is.
He says, oh, shoo, the snappers. My old teacher, Brett says, my old teacher had a motor like that. He had on a rubber dinghy.
Model to work.
He says, I'm high, or is the camera flying around? No, the camera was flying around in the video and did that beginning of my YouTube channel years ago. Blood Nose, enjoy you, Arch. Thanks, Blood Nose. Welcome. Robert says, Uncle Archie is Uncle Archie's allergic to meow meow. Yeah, I know. I may not be as bad anymore, though.
Seriously.
A lot of my allergies are gone.
Know where the spark plugs are.
He doesn't know what a spark plug is. Maybe it's a diesel.
And I'm guessing.
That was one. Oh, they probably go in there. Yeah, I bet you they do.
I bet they got pulled out moving it around somewhere over the years. This thing hasn't run, oh gosh, probably since the early 60s.
Oh, shit.
Because I remember when I was little bitty, from the time I can first remember, my half memory down to 3 years old. But
wow.
When we moved to Athens, my dad would take us, my brother and me, to the river with this thing. And moved to Athens when I was 5. So probably 5 to 12, 13. He bought another boat when I was about 13 or 14. And we got to ski behind it. This right here obviously wasn't fast enough to pull anything. I don't know what horsepower this thing is. 2, 3,
a torpedo heater, yeah.
1. I don't really know.
Wow, look at the stenciling on it. Oh, you got to get this thing running. Now, I think in the other video we'll check out in a minute, he takes some of it apart.
Are still on it, luckily. But I can't wait to get in this thing. This is going to be fun.
Yeah, right? Yeah, let's scroll through a little bit. Let's see him tearing it into it a little bit. So I put the link in the description, too, for his channel. If anybody that wants to watch this, go check it out. Yeah, you gotta have a meow. You gotta have a doggy or a meow or something. I had birds too.
And shoot some penetrating oil down in the cylinders.
I just love the look of these things.
Let's see if this one will come out. Yeah. Let's see.
Get out of the way. We want to see. We don't want to look at the back of your head. We want to see in there. Remember, we're YouTubers.
This is the best penetrating oil I ever used.
Yeah, I have some of that. It is good stuff. Yeah, we want to get in. We want to. I like the way you got it set up on that stand. That's really good. Yeah, just hose it down. Dunk it in that shit. Let's check out his other video. Hold on. As I think I saw. Oh, here it is. Is this in? Is this it? Yeah. Yep. There we go.
and it's still got fuel in it. So it has not weeped down or wept down.
Oh, that's good. Or bad.
I don't know if this is the water pickup or if this is the exhaust. I'm not sure, but I poured gas and ATF down this, and of course it leaked out several of the places there, so I'm sure there's some seals and whatnot.
There's some seals and crofts in there. Summer breeze. Summer breeze. We filled it with oil. Now it's leaking out from every hole.
Get a big wrench on this and some
Let's get the parents. The parents.
The threads, and that's threaded all the way down.
That looks like a pretty decent sized little motor.
So I'll take a big wrench every once in a great while, put it on here.
I love birds too.
Wiggle it back and forth and see if there's any give.
Yeah, well, because that's just never going to go away. Summer breeze.
But I'm going to let this thing sit.
I almost said that in the video I just worked on. I'm like, nah, you can't, because it's just such an inside joke.
Until Saturday, and I'm going to come out.
Let's see, he's going to dig into it.
Wednesday, November
Wednesday.
8th. It's not going down past the rings.
Yeah, that could be good or it could be bad. We don't know what's in there. Let's see. Try to get him to tear more of it apart. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Hold on. Let's back up.
The pistons in there.
Muffler's off or something.
Look at that.
Ooh. Yeah, that's what I'm worried about.
Those 3 holes. Let's see.
That's why it's not leaking down. That's what I'm worried about.
These 3 holes. These 3 holes. Those go into the cylinders.
Yeah, it's locked.
Let's see. There's 3 more holes down below it. And those look into the cylinders.
Yeah.
See if I can get this back through there. But inside there are the cylinders. I can see the rings, and the rings are stuck.
Yeah.
Cylinders. I'm going to roll this thing over sideways.
Let's see.
I'm going to shoot penetrating oil. Oh man, this is awesome. This is freaking awesome. And I don't see any of the gasoline and acetylene, I think I'll go have another beer.
There you go.
Automatic transmission fluid leaking down.
No, it's not going to leak down.
From the spark plug hole 2.
Yeah, that thing is sealed up tight.
Yeah. But that is all gummed up in there. Tri-flow percolate on that stuff overnight.
Take the heads off.
See if it feels some bubbles percolating up. Well, that one right there is lower right now. The level of this one.
Yeah, it's going to be a while, but if you can get the head off, just take the head off, because I don't think you're not going to, I don't know what to say.
So that's all topped off now.
It's not going to be easy. It's never easy with that kind of stuff. Let me come back. You know, my dream for stuff like that is to get one of those cleaning like vapor tanks that they have. There's 2 things that I want. It's like a vapor tank. I've seen these guys where it looks like a sandblast cabinet. You can run either vapor tank or you can run like a relatively sort of, it's not really high pressure, but it's cleaning solvent coming out under pressure, and you could, right? Yeah, you can see a lot of stuff going on in there. And the other thing is I would love to have a gigantic induction heated, what do they call those things? With the transducers, the sonic cleaning tanks. You drop them in there and like some really good solvent, and let it vibrate, and just like leave it in there. You don't have to get the whole thing in there, just enough of it, and just leave it in there, and let all the vibrations and the solvent just kind of eat away at everything. You want some kind of a good solvent, like a petroleum-based solvent. You don't want anything that's got lye in it or acid. You can use acid, but you have to be very careful with it. Like, I've used acid on frozen things like that, and I've been very successful, you can't have any grease. No oil and no grease. So you actually have to do it first. Once you put oil and grease, no grease, and you put transmission fluid and stuff like that, you can't use the acid anymore because it just won't work. But the acid gets off a lot of the gumming and everything and frees things up. That's how I get off brake lines and stuff that are frozen on. Because I've done a lot of work on like old cars. And I've tried different things. And people say, well, I don't like acid. Well, why? If you drink Coca-Cola, you're drinking it. You're putting phosphoric acid into your body, which is a bad idea. But, yeah, people drink a lot of that crap, and it's really toxic. It's phosphoric acid plus whatever the hell else. Let's see if we can catch up to you guys. Yeah, you can see it. Robert says, I love the front grill on your newest Craftsman LT mowers. The way it has the headlight bulbs that are placed in the headlight bezel. They shine on the yard just right. Yeah, they are nice. I like the green Craftsmans. Head is off now. Pistons and rods are wrecked. Yeah. Got a new power head for it with good pistons, rods, crank, and acceptable compression. Really? George Carlin loves snapper riding lawnmowers. He just likes snappers. I like snappers. Yeah, I'd like to see that. You didn't put a new video up yet, right? Let me see. Yeah, it's a shame. These things get so bad. Well, that was 3 weeks ago. Yeah, I don't see any new videos. But Bleach, you might want to check him out because he restored a really nice snapper. Nice old one. That was a lot of work. But it came out really nice. Let's see, do you do shorts? Yeah, you got some good shorts in here. Yeah, shorts are fun. So I was just showing you one that I think I might just drop as a short with that green tractor. Why not, right? I mean, I'm not going to be working on it anytime soon, but it's a nice find. My daughter helped set me up with that, so it's a good find. And just to share, and usually try to do shorts for upcoming stuff or whatever. I don't do that many. But this coming year is something that I want to add to the list, is kind of try to do more shorts. I've taken a bunch of, quote, short footage, and they're in a folder, but I've been so busy doing different things that I just haven't had time, Let's see, Blood Nose says, why don't you like lye degreasing? And Bleach says, I watch some of the videos, have to catch up. Yeah, I do, but I use a lot of lye. Super Clean is lye, so I'm a big fan of Super Clean, but you have to be really careful, especially on the aluminum. It'll turn it black and it'll destroy it. And it depends upon what kind of aluminum it is, because not all aluminum is aluminum, right? There's different additives that they put in the metallurgy. It could be zinc, it could be magnesium. So you can actually get all these really weird chemical reactions going on. So you have to be careful with it. I'm pretty aggressive with acid and lye and solvents. I don't show a lot of it, like a lot of that stuff. It was funny because Wayne, when I was talking about Super Clean, everybody got all upset because they started playing around with it. And I think it was Wayne and his son put some of that, put a carburetor in it in his Vibra tank. What do they call those things, fellas? Those tanks that vibrate. I keep forgetting. I don't have one because I can't afford it. Anyway, they put it in there for a little while, and it literally destroyed the carburetor, right? It just came apart. And people think, oh, my God, it's no good, it's bad. I'm like, well, first of all, I would never do that. And why would I never do that? Because I've done that. I did that. I did stuff like that many, many years ago. One of my phrases for a long time was better living through chemistry, I always say. And I tested a lot of stuff, and I destroyed things. And what I learned is, the molality of this stuff, you have to understand it. I don't even think they understood that you can cut it with regular water. Preferably distilled water, because any water with any mineral or anything in it can screw up the solution. But not really. But it can. But yeah, I have different types of acids that I use, that I keep. I got to get some more. I want to get some more of the body acid I like. I really like that stuff. I cut it. 50%, 25%, whatever. Sometimes I use muriatic. I even have some older muriatic that I dip into some things I dip into. It's very useful, but you got to be careful with it. You know, one time I got some lye in my eye, literally, and what it did was it peeled the outer layer of the epithelium of the eye, and it peeled out. Literally, I peeled it like this, and it came out. And I went, and what happened was it got behind my protective glasses because I was upside down working on the Nova, and it happened to drip down and ran just the right way. So you do have to be really careful so I don't show a lot of that. Because a lot of people don't understand what the hell I'm doing, and then if I start to talk about it in a technical way, they get mad because they think I'm talking over their head, and I'm not. I'm not trying to do that. Let's see, the ultrasonic, yeah, thanks, Blood Nose. You know, because I forget things, I get stupid. I did food shorts, 420 Munchies food shorts. Let's see. Brett says, I'd be afraid of Super Clean, the ultrasonic cleaner. Yeah. You never use it full strength. And if you use it, you could use Super Clean in the ultrasonic, but you can't use it. You wouldn't want to use it on anything aluminum in the ultrasonic because that's too aggressive. And if you did use it on something aluminum, it would have to be something like a 25% solution. And then you'd have to monitor it. And it could potentially turn it black. Maybe, you know, it may not. It depends. There's buffer solutions, though, that you can add. See, Super Clean doesn't have a lot of buffers in it. There are other solutions you can add. Like, for example, I use Alumna Bright. Alumna Bright. That's its trade name, but it is an acid that is designed to brighten and clean aluminum and brass and copper for welding. You can get it at the welding supply. And it's got certain buffing solutions in it to actually brighten the metal. And generally, you spray a little bit on and a little bit of Scotch-Brite. You let it sit for a minute, and then you just clean it like that, and then you can start welding on it. Because welding aluminum is such a pain in the neck that even if you degrease it and hit it with heavy degreases and acids, there's still stuff. Like aluminum is like this weird porous metal because it's not metal. It's an oxide. It doesn't come in the ground metal. It's an oxide. So they have to make a metal out of it. And anybody will tell you, like with this stupid stuff, especially like a cast style aluminum. Oh my God, there's stuff inside of it. Stuff just gets in. If it's been sitting in oil, there's oil inside of it. It's weird. I want one of those to clean saw chains before I put them on. Yeah, on the grinder. Yep. Brett says, Simple Green works in the ultrasonic. Yeah, Simple Green is a surfactant style cleaner. I love Simple Green. It is very good. Bleach says, I soaked the carb bowl in Super Clean. Yeah, depending on what the carb bowl is made out of, but it might take the plating off of it, which is something you don't really want to have happen. Johny Bravo says, you can buff the black gray off carb. Yep, yes you can. Yep. And any aluminum with a Dremel and a wire brush or whatever. Yeah, the brush is not as aggressive. It really shines it up. Yeah. And you can buff it with, because I also use those nice cookies with the 3M Scotch-Brite and stuff. So I have the cookies, I have the rolls, I have different grits and everything, and you can really whip them up and make it nice. Bleach says, I'm getting sleepy. Be right back. Break and brush my teeth. Yeah, I think it's time, fellas. Let's see. Yeah, we're 2 hours and 57. But that was fun, and I'm glad I didn't get a chance to check out Johnny's channel recently. I've been saying I've been wanting to do that, so I did it. And there's more on there. There's a lot of good stuff up on there. You know, there's good content out there, fellas. Good stuff. People are working on good things and cool stuff. I also want to check out what he made for the ramps. Maybe next time we'll do that. We'll check out his ramps because he's got some storage solutions, which I get a kick out of. Yeah, elevated storage. Now that's always a good thing. That's what I've been thinking about. I'm like, I need more storage. I need to look up. I'm like looking around. I'm like, I wanted to put, by the way, a loft over here, and I just ran out of time and money, but I really do. It would be a good spot right above my head because there's plenty of places I can take it. Even the stairwell thing that's up here would also help to support it. And I don't need much. It doesn't have to be big. It would just be like this big, heavy-duty shelf. But it's got to be big enough to be worthy. And then a simple ladder, and you just climb up there. And I could make it strong, and I would probably use, really the best way, because it's such a long span, would be 2x6 or 2x8 for the front header. 2x6 or a 2x8 for the, or I could use a 2x6 and triple them. And even maybe put some plywood in the middle. And that would be strong. And it wouldn't take up too much room, and it's a little cheaper. Because it's a big span. And then go this way with the 2x6s. This way, right? All the way across with laminate 2x6. And then in this way to the plate up top here. I got to move everything out of the way, but I've always wanted to do that, and that would give me the storage. Now, I have another spot in the garage that I should do first, where the two buildings meet. And that's the spot that I can put a span as well, and just put up some like stackable shelves, because I still have the slope of the roof, so it's a problem. But it would be a good idea to kind of maybe rip off there's still tiles up there, roofing tiles. They just connected the two roofs together. So I could rip up some of that and just put some more shelving, and that would be a good thing to do first, and start sticking more stuff up there that's lightweight. Because you get all these plastic parts and lightweight metal pieces, and some of it's more like a deeper storage, and if it's sitting where you can get to it, it's in boxes and it's labeled, at least you know where it is, and then you can just climb up on a ladder and go up there and grab what you need and put it back. I mean, I use a lot of upper storage. I do have spots, but it's just not enough. Brother says, I put carbs now in plastic container with gasoline and put those in the U.S. Yeah, in the cleaner and filled with water. No color change. Yup. I think that was one of the things that Taro was experimenting with, is you put water in the ultrasonic, and then you put whatever solvent you want in a container, and you drop that in the water, and that's how you do it. And that does work. I'll get one of those eventually. Blood Nose says, good night, chaps. Be well. Bleach says, I did not go live tonight. I wish I did. Well, there's always time. There's lots of times you can go live. All right, fellas, I'm out of here too. I will see you guys later. And Stella does that. Yeah, that's what I want to do. Is this way I can clean different things. I've got the parts washer. I got the slop sink. I got the hoses. I got the pressure washers. I just need an ultrasonic, and I need to make a spot for it. Even if it's just like up on a shelf, out of the way, I can just reach in there and drop stuff in there. All right, fellas, I'm out of here. Yeah, it's late, and I'm getting tired, and we hit the 3-hour mark, so I had fun tonight. Thanks, everybody, for stopping down. I really appreciate it. And, dilly dilly! Right? To the pit of misery. To the pit of misery. Let's throw all those crappy politicians into the pit of misery. Dilly dilly! Be safe, you too, man. Enjoy.